Mona said, I'm just so angry. Why must all those aristocrats be so mean? Bill said, I see the word has gotten out about Layla being invited to the party. She said, of course it has. People are even going around saying that Lady Claudine treats Layla like a poor puppy. And no wonder, ever since they were children, Lady Claudine would always call for Layla whenever she was bored. And as if that wasn't bad enough, she's gone and invited Layla to a party full of noble ladies. From Lady Claudine's perspective, she thinks she's being kind. But how intimidated must Layla feel? Bill said, Layla is not the kind of girl to be intimidated by something like that. All she needs to do is show her face for a bit. She said, how can you be so insensitive? After all these years, you should know better how to raise a daughter by now. Bill said, daughter, my foot. I'm still thinking about where best to send her, and I just haven't made a decision yet. She said, that damn thinking of yours. You'll still be thinking when Layla gets married, and thinking when she hands you a grandson. You'll still be thinking in your grave. Bill, getting angry, said, Lord, there you go again. I've had just about enough of this thinking nonsense. She said, yes, well, it will be a surprise. Layla is a woman after all. Just think how happy she would be. Bill said, but you know very well that Layla would never want to be indebted to me. No doubt she will refuse if I offer to buy her a dress. She said, of course. That's where I come in. And you're still keeping all your money in that old bag. I told you to take it to the bank. Bill said, this cottage in Arvis is safer than any bank. Besides, when Layla finds out about this, she's going to have a fit. But don't you worry, I'll make sure she doesn't find out until the day of the party. Bill said, is this enough for a dress? She said, a little more. She'll need more than just a dress for a party like this. He said, well, fine. While we're at it, might as well buy everything she'll need. She said, well, this is unlike you in a generous mood. Are we? Good. Since it's come to this, let's make sure Layla's beauty takes those noble ladies down a peg or two. At the cottage, Layla came home and said, nice to see you, Mona. Mona said, I brought some snacks. Layla, even your favorite strawberry cake and cookies. Layla said, then I'll get changed and be right back. Let's have them together. She said, no, that's quite all right. It's a shame, but I must be going now. See you soon, Layla. Layla said, oh, of course. Take a Layla thing. She must be in a hurry. Bill said, Layla, what are you going to do about that invitation? Layla said, you mean the pie? Oh, show my face. Then come back straight away. Dr. Etman's family was also invited. So I'll go with Kyle. Bill thinking, finally, some good news. That parasite is making himself useful at last. Bill said, is there anything you need, Layla, like a dress, for instance? She said, of course, I don't need a dress, Uncle Bill. I'm only going to be popping in. He said, that can't be right. You should be dressed properly for an occasion like this. Were you planning to show up in your school uniform to a gathering full of noble ladies? She said, that's not a bad idea. Bill think, I understand she's trying her hardest not to be a burden, not to owe anyone anything. I know it full well, and yet I end up being blunt, because I don't know how to console her. Mona was right about everything. Layla said, I'm alright, Uncle Bill. Bill thinking, you poor, dear thing. I should be consoling you. Nah, the other way around. Layla's nightmare. Layla thinking, in my nightmares, I go back to my childhood, moving from one relative's house to another, bullied, beaten, and yet still begging them not to abandon me. The only thing I could do to keep from being abandoned was to tirelessly help with housework, eat less, and stay as quiet as a statue, tucked away in the corner of the room. But no matter how hard I tried, when the time came to move again, instead of crying in sorrow, I practiced smiling. The more I wanted to cry, the brighter I smiled, because no one would want a crying orphan. After being kicked out again and again, I gradually got better at smiling. But on the day I finally crossed the border into Berg, I couldn't smile at all. The address I held was my last hope. If I were abandoned again, it would be an orphanage next. I smiled as best I could. I will never forget the moment I looked into Uncle Bill's eyes full of kindness and compassion. He said, "You can use this room for the time being." That was the day I finally found my family and a home I wanted to return to. I will never forget it. So everything is all right. The party at the Duke's estate is tonight. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't bother me, but I don't want to dwell on it. All I need to do is show up, linger quietly, then leave. Lady Claudine will never understand that. I will gladly do everything I can to protect the life I have made here. Bill said, "You're up early, Layla," she said. "Good morning, Uncle Bill. Did you sleep well?" At the mansion, manager said, "It has all been arranged as you instructed, Your Grace. I received word that they left about an hour ago, so they should have been delivered by now." Duke said, "I see. Good work." Lights a cigarette. Thinking, the news that Claudine had invited Layla reached me through my mother. My mother praised Claudine for being charitable absurd, but I didn't object. It will be a pleasant spectacle if Layla shows up tonight in a shabby dress. Claudine plans to muster all the pity she can, while Layla stands there and takes it. Humbling an irksome child can be entertaining, but I won't let Claudine have that satisfaction. Manager said, "Your Grace, what should we do with those items?" "The gifts purchased by the chef on behalf of Bill Remmer have been brought here by Hessen. The replacements were turned back into gifts from Bill and delivered to the cottage. There's no point in keeping the originals." Duke said, "Discard them." At the cottage, Layla said, "Uncle Bill, just how much money did you spend?" Bill said, "Let me think. How much did I give Mona that day?" Bill thinking, "I figured she'd put some care into this, but not to this extent. Even I can see these are expensive, the dress, shoes, gloves, and the shop staff delivered them in person. It must have cost a lot. And look at that necklace. Did that woman take money for that too? Never mind. Whatever it cost, it's money well spent if it means Layla can go to the party without feeling humiliated." Bill said, "I took care of it, don't worry. A kid like you shouldn't fret about such things." She said, "Uncle Bill, this is too much." He said, "What, you don't like it?" "Everything looks pretty good to me," she said. "Of course, I like them. It's just that this is all for one event. I can't let you spend a fortune on a party where I'm only going to show my face for a little while. Let's return these." Bill thinking, all that effort, and now she wants to return everything. My heart. Bill cried out, "If you don't go to the party in these, I will never see you again. You always hate being indebted to anyone, I understand. But don't draw these lines, not between us. These things look good, but they're nothing but cheap knockoffs. I would give you the best things in the world if I could, but you know I'm not in a position to do that. Well, fine. If you can't accept them, then leave it. I'll use them for kindling, but I'll never see you again. Got that?" Storms outside. Bill thinking, my emotions got the better of me. I said horrible things I should never have said. I'd never see her again. Damn this temper of mine. Kyle arrives. Bill thinking, I always thought of that parasite as just a kid, but now that he's all dressed up, he looks like a fine young gentleman. Kyle said, "Why are you outside? How is Layla?" Bill said, "I'm not sure." Kyle said, "Isn't she in?" "But the party is starting soon." Just then Layla stepped outside. Both Bill and Kyle were stunned by the sight of her. Bill grabbed Kyle's shoulder. "Listen, Kyle, always be on your guard tonight. You'll be acting in my stead. That means you must protect Layla at all costs. Do you understand?" Kyle stood tall. "Of course. I'll protect her, no matter what." Bill nodded, relieved. "All right, I'm trusting you. Thank you, Uncle Bill." Layla glanced at Kyle, her voice uncertain. "Don't you think I look strange? These kinds of clothes, they don't suit me." Kyle shook his head. "No, you look beautiful. Now shall we go, Miss Layla?" "Don't call me that, you sound so strange." He smiled. "I know. But get used to it, today is special. Think of me as your escort to the party. Nah, just your friend." Layla sighed softly. "All right. I'll try my best." She turned to Bill. "Uncle Bill, I'll be back soon." Bill smiled warmly. "Go on now. I just hope your heart doesn't get hurt tonight, and I hope you have a good time." At the grand estate, they entered the ballroom. Layla whispered, "Are you sure I don't look strange?" Kyle leaned close. "Not at all. No need to be nervous. Just trust your escort, okay? Layla's appearance spoke volumes of Hessen's impeccable taste, even with the simple dress. Draped a little awkwardly, Layla looked beautiful. Around her pale neck hung an emerald necklace, the same one the Duke had once admired in a shop window. Its clear green shimmer had reminded him of a summer forest. Unable to resist, he'd ordered Hessen to purchase it. Now, it rested on Layla's skin. A nobleman approached the Duke. "It's been too long, Your Grace. How have you been?" The Duke smiled and exchanged greetings, but all his attention was focused on one thing: Layla, that oblivious doctor's son proudly escorting her, as if she belongs to him. Blind to the truth, she was wrapped around my finger. "Duke," Claudine called sweetly. "Come, let me introduce you." Layla stood among Claudine's friends. Claudine beamed. "This is my friend, Layla." Layla bowed politely. "Lovely to meet you. My name is Layla." One friend whispered, "So you're the girl Claudine mentioned." "It's a pleasure," another remarked. "First time I've heard your name." Claudine explained smoothly. Layla was taken in and raised by Granner, who works at the manor in Arvis. The Duke's family allowed her to be raised on the estate after she was orphaned. That's how I came to know her. One friend blinked. "Wait, an orphan?" Claudine smiled brightly. "Don't worry. Though Layla grew up under difficult circumstances, she is diligent and upright. She's about to finish school and is preparing to become a teacher. Isn't that wonderful?" The friend replied, "Miss Layla is admirable indeed, but your compassion is even more so, Claudine. No wonder the Herharts are so fond of you. I hear you're soon to be engaged. Congratulations." Claudine blushed modestly. "You flatter me. It hasn't been officially announced yet." Another friend leaned in. "Here comes the Duke. I'm sure he'll want to see you, Claudine." Claudine brightened. "Perfect timing, Duke. These are my friends, let me introduce you." She gestured. "This is Berta from Count Meitner's family. It's an honor to meet you, Your Grace," Berta said. "And this is Gries from the Marquis Weiss family." Then Claudine smiled slyly. "And this is Layla. We once visited a cafe together. Do you recognize her? I almost didn't. She looks so different tonight." Layla bowed again. "Good evening, Your Grace." Strange, thought the Duke. No matter how I insulted her, she always remained calm. But now she's flustered, even blushing in front of me. No good can come from letting this girl near the Duke. Claudine thought. Perhaps mother's fears are correct. She recalled a nagging suspicion from the hunting trip. That day, the Duke had insisted on walking alone in the forest and returned late. Something hadn't felt right. And Layla, how did she appear in such an outfit? That necklace to find to be a fake. If anyone could afford to give her that, it would be. Kyle stepped forward. "Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but may I take my partner? My friends would like to meet her." The doctor's son, was it him who transformed Layla into this tonight? No, that doesn't make sense. He's only a doctor's son. Claudine forced a smile. "Of course, we shouldn't monopolize Layla when she has a partner." Kyle took Layla's hand gently. "Thank you." He guided her away. "Layla," Claudine called sweetly. "Yes, my lady?" "You look very pretty today, especially in that necklace." "Thank you." Claudine turned to the Duke. "Isn't the necklace becoming on her, Your Grace?" The Duke smiled faintly. "Yes, indeed." Later, Kyle whispered, "Thank you, Layla." She frowned. "For what?" "For standing there and taking it. They were treating you like a spectacle, insulting you. The Layla I know is proud and clever. Why did you just grin and bear it?" She smiled sadly. "What does it matter? They're not wrong. I am an orphan. I am indebted to Uncle Bill. I will become a teacher. Don't worry, Kyle. Their words don't bother me. You're a mystery sometimes. People are complex by nature. You and that silver tongue of yours." She smiled. "Kyle, you can go now." "And where would I go? You have people to see. I saw your mother waiting for you." Kyle's mother approached sharply. "What are you doing here? I've been looking everywhere. Do you have any idea how important today is? Come, there are people waiting to meet you." Kyle frowned. "You mean waiting to meet father, not me?" His mother glared. "Kyle, do you think this is a joke? The Dowager Herhart is asking for you. You will not keep her waiting." Layla spoke softly. "Do as your mother says." Kyle hesitated. But will you? I'll wait right here. His mother smiled curtly. Thank you for understanding, Layla. Kyle leaned in. I'll be back soon. Wait for me, all right? Layla waved her hand lightly. She stood alone, listening to the distant music. My purpose here is finished. All that's left is to wait quietly for Kyle. These things, they look good, but they're nothing but cheap knockoffs. She remembered Bill saying, I'd give you the best in the world if I could, but you know I'm in no position to do that. Even so, the dress, soft as clouds, shoes embroidered with delicate thread, and the necklace, how could fake jewels shine so beautifully? Maybe that's why Claudine said what she did. Perhaps it wasn't a compliment, but scorn, or pity. It doesn't matter. These were given by Uncle Bill. That's all that matters to me. The Duke and Lady Claudine stood on the terrace. Claudine smiled. The night breeze is so refreshing. I do love summer, the nights are beautiful. What about you, Duke? The Duke replied coolly. I'm not particularly fond of summer, my lady. That's surprising. I always thought you liked it. Come to think of it, you do seem rather indifferent. And please, I don't mean that as a criticism. In truth, I admire it about you. Your composure, the way you remain unmoved by silly little things. It's noble, elegant. I'm glad to hear it. Then his voice lowered. Kiss me. Claudine tilted her head. As much as I'm fond of your restraint, shouldn't there be at least a hint of passion between us, don't you think? A hint of passion, you say? You make a good point. He leaned in and kissed her. Shall we go, my lady? He asked. Claudine smiled. I'm certain, Duke. I'm certain we will make a good couple. Meanwhile, Layla ran through the hallway. Heart pounding, she stopped beneath the shadows of the garden. Gasping. Blood on the shoes Uncle Bill bought me. I want to go home. What should I do? I promised Kyle I would wait for him, so I should go back. But her legs trembled. I don't think I can. I'll wait here in the garden for a little while, then I'll go back and meet Kyle. She sat on a bench beneath the trees. It's probably fine for me to sit here, I'm a guest tonight, after all. But the memory of what she'd just seen twisted her stomach. I don't understand. How could they do that, when it was obvious someone else was so close by? They probably didn't think anything of it. To them, servants are nothing more than furniture. Then her thoughts shifted, sharp and bitter. Wait. Why would he do something like that? How vulgar. Inside, Kyle's mother spoke sweetly. How very gracious of you. Your Grace, you are too kind. Lady Herhart replied. It is nothing compared to the dedication Dr. Ettman has shown as our family physician. As you know, the House of Arndt is a prestigious one. If your family continues to build a close relationship, it will surely benefit you both. Kyle's mother thought, Baron Arndt has a daughter Kyle's age, and likely contemplating marriage soon. A golden opportunity has practically fallen into our laps. Yet my only son remains preoccupied with that orphan girl Layla. It can't be helped. I must guide him as his mother. She smiled. Your Grace, if it is not too much trouble, may we be introduced to them right away? Lady Herhart nodded. Of course. They are attending tonight's party as well. It would do no harm to make introductions now. She rang a small bell. Please bring Baroness Arndt. It looks like grandmother is playing matchmaker, Kyle thought bitterly. Though the Ettmans are wealthier than the Arndts, such a marriage would still be considered suitable. Kyle whispered, Mother, you go make the introductions. I'm leaving. She caught his arm. This is for you. It would be rude to leave now. Stay and be quiet. A mother with endless affection and ambition. A son bound by duty. Between such a mother and such a son, the fate of a first love was clear. Kyle Ettman will never be able to let go of his role as the dutiful son. And between that ambitious mother and her obedient son, Layla will be cast aside. Right where she belongs in my forest, thought Claudine. Outside, Layla sat alone. The Duke approached quietly and saw her bloody leg, the ruined shoes. Layla looked up, startled. Your Grace. For a moment, I thought I was dreaming, but no, this is real. The Duke held out her shoes. Would you like them back? Yes, please. Tears welled in her eyes. First he takes my belongings. Now he wants me to cry. Does he think it's fun to torment me like this? If only Kyle would come back now. But the Duke said softly, He won't come, Kyle Etman. That's who you're waiting for, isn't it? You're wrong, Your Grace. Kyle is someone who keeps his promises. Is that so? You seem quite confident. I know Kyle far better than you do, Your Grace. You shouldn't be so certain, Layla. I don't understand. Understand what? Why does Your Grace despise me so much? The Duke smiled faintly. Despise? Let's see. Because it pleases me. It amuses me to watch you cry. I enjoy seeing you beg. How? How can you say such a thing? I'm only answering your question. But you don't act this way toward anyone but me. That's right. Then why? Why only me? Because it is you. Because you are Layla. And because you are nothing. Nothing? Layla thought of the relatives who had cast her out, of her drunken uncle, who had insulted and beaten her, but none of them, not even he, had ever crushed her heart so cruelly. I'm sorry, Your Grace. I'm sorry that someone like me dared to live on your estate. If this was how it was meant to be, it would have been better if you had never allowed me to stay. That would have been heartless, don't you think? You're being heartless enough now. What do you intend to do with me? Will you drive me away? No, there is no need to worry about that. You are already serving your purpose. But you said I am nothing. What purpose can there be in that? Enough with the apologies. Kyle, the one you're waiting for, he won't come. So, Layla, cry, or better yet, beg. Tears spilled down her cheeks. The Duke watched, pleased. She cries so prettily. I gladly returned her shoes. By the time I left the garden, reaching the end of the path, Layla was still standing there, tears streaming down her face, tears caused by me, and they belonged entirely to me. Amusing, isn't it? Those tears washed away the wretched feeling I had when I saw her earlier, as well as that strange, indescribable feeling I felt while kissing Claudine. Tonight, Layla has realized the line that separates her from the boy she waits for and the significance of his status. She knows now why he never returned. Layla approached a nearby waiter. Please, could you tell Kyle that I went home first? Inside, Kyle had started to move, had almost escaped his mother's grasp when the Duke stopped the waiter. My Grace, the waiter said nervously. What can I do for you? Bring Count Klein to the second-floor terrace. The waiter bowed. Understood, Your Grace. The Duke wasn't seeking Count Klein. The request was simply an excuse to buy time. The servant returned. Your Grace, Count Klein left early for the evening. No matter. Purpose was served. While the servant searched pointlessly, Layla left the garden swiftly, walking with her usual quiet resolve. A woman who fiercely protects her own heart, who forms no attachments to what does not belong to her. She didn't look back, not once, as if there was no longer a single reason to stay. When the waiter returned, he whispered to Kyle, Sir, Miss Layla asked me to tell you she went home first. Even if the doctor's son were to break free from his mother's clutches now and run after her, it would be too late. Layla has already left, and so this tedious midsummer night's party will go on.